Good afternoon, students. In previous class, we have seen types of hydrogen bond. Even it is there here. Two types of hydrogen bond are there: intramolecular hydrogen bond and intermolecular hydrogen bond. Okay, what is meant by intramolecular hydrogen bond? Just I am going to recall that one. The type of the hydrogen bond which is formed inside the molecule itself, in the molecule itself, that is called intramolecular hydrogen bond. The hydrogen bond which is formed in the molecule itself, that is called intramolecular hydrogen bond. What about intermolecular hydrogen bond? The hydrogen bond which is formed between the molecules is called intermolecular hydrogen bond. Two types clearly we have seen. Intramolecular hydrogen bond is observed in salicylic acid, in which on benzene ring we have COOH and OH group. In between oxygen here and hydrogen here, and hydrogen here and oxygen here, we have hydrogen bonds. But these hydrogen bonds are present in the molecule itself, that is in salicylic acid only. Okay, the type of hydrogen bonds are called intramolecular. Coming to water, between one water molecule and another water molecule, we have hydrogen bond. Same like that, between HF and HF, we have hydrogen bond. These are called intermolecular hydrogen bond. Okay, this is about, because of this water boiling point 100 degrees centigrade, because high boiling point will be for water because of presence of hydrogen bond only. Among intermolecular forces, hydrogen bond is the strongest force. Among intermolecular forces, hydrogen bond is the strongest force. Okay, so the substance which has hydrogen bond, the substance which has dipole-dipole forces, and the substance which has third type of force, Van der Waals force. Among these three types of forces, okay, among these three types of solids, the solid which has hydrogen bond will be contained by high melting and boiling points, because that is the strongest intermolecular force. Among these three solids only I am telling. Okay, ma? And in previous class I told what is the order of forces also. Every time chemical bonds are stronger when compared to intermolecular forces. Chemical bonds are stronger when compared to intermolecular forces. What are chemical bonds? Covalent bond, ionic bond. These are stronger when compared to intermolecular forces like hydrogen bond, next dipole-dipole forces, and Van der Waals forces. Among all the forces, which is least one, which is weakest one, that is Van der Waals force. Okay, this is about types of hydrogen bond also. I hope you are clear about hydrogen bond formation, but remember, this is not type of chemical bond. Once again I am telling, this is intermolecular force. Okay, why some liquids, some solids have high melting and boiling points when compared to remaining solids and liquids? That explanation was given by this hydrogen bond. This is a type of dipole-dipole force only, but stronger than, very much stronger than dipole-dipole force. That's why they kept one separate side heading, that is called hydrogen bond. Okay, no? This is about types. Next, what are the types? Intermolecular and intermolecular. Name of this compound is salicylic acid, and here we have taken the example water as well as HF. Okay, no? After this we will go to next concept, that is bond parameters. Bond parameters means what are the measurements used in bonds? Measurements used in bonds. Okay, that one definition like that we will see now. First, under this bond parameters, first one is bond length. Under this bond parameters, first one is bond length. Okay, coming to the explanation of this bond length, let us consider H2 molecule. H2 molecule contains two H atoms. In between them, covalent bond is present. Okay, diagrammatically, if you want to show, here electron present in hydrogen atom, here electron present in hydrogen atom. This is nucleus of second hydrogen atom. This is nucleus of first hydrogen atom. In between them, this bond pair is present. In between them, this bond pair is present. Okay, these two atoms are combined because of bond formation. Correct? Because of sharing of electrons, that is called bond. This is called bond. Now, after combination, now we will discuss that in H2 molecule. Distance between the two nuclei is called bond length. Distance between the two nuclei in a molecule. Distance between the two nuclei in a molecule is called bond length. The distance between the two nuclei is also called internuclear distance. Inter means between. Distance between the nuclei. Distance between the nuclei is called internuclear distance. That internuclear distance is also called as bond length, which is represented by D. Bond length which is represented by D. Okay, ma? Once again, under bond parameters, first one we are going to see, that is bond length. Okay, for understanding this bond length, I took the example HH. Between hydrogen and hydrogen, single bond is present. Okay, now this is one hydrogen atom and this is another hydrogen atom. Between them, sharing of electrons was taken place and there is a bond formation. After the involvement in bond, distance between the two nuclei of hydrogen atoms. Distance between the two nuclei of hydrogen atoms. That distance is called internuclear distance or bond length. Internuclear distance or bond length. This is the definition. Now coming to units. Units of bond length, angstroms, nanometers or picometers. Angstroms, nanometers or picometers. These are small units. Actually, you know very well, distance will be calculated in terms of, measured in terms of centimeters or meters. Correct? But these are also in terms of centimeters and meters only. But these are very small values. Molecule is very small. In that, distance between the nuclei is very small. Correct or not? So, to know the small values, okay, instead of giving 10 power minus 8, 10 power minus 9 like that, okay, they are converting that 10 power minus 9 centimeters, 10 power minus 8 centimeters like that into angstroms and nanometers. But finally, in terms of centimeters and meters only, it will be there. Now, I will tell the conversion also. Before that, what is the definition of this bond length? You understood, I think. Okay, distance between the two nuclei is called bond length, which is also called internuclear distance. Okay, and what are the units of this bond length? Angstroms, nanometers or picometers. Now the conversion is 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 8 centimeters, which is equal to 10 power minus 10 meters. 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 8 centimeters, which is equal to 10 power minus 10 meters. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 power minus 9 meter, which is equal to 10 power minus 7 centimeter. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 power minus 7 centimeter, which is equal to 10 power minus 9 meter. 1 picometer is equal to, picometer, 10 power minus 10 centimeters, which is equal to 10 power minus 12 meters. Note down these values neatly, all of you. These conversions are useful definitely while you are doing the problems in NEET also. In atomic structure, while you are doing the problems, these conversions are also useful because wavelength, centimeters, meters, But again, those centimeters and meters will be in the terms of angstroms, nanometers only there also. Okay, so these are the conversions useful between angstroms and centimeters as well as nanometers, centimeters, like that. Okay, 1 angstrom is equal to 10 power minus 8 centimeters, which is equal to 10 power minus 10 meters. 1 nanometer equal to 10 power minus 7 centimeters, which is equal to 10 power minus 9 meters. 1 picometer is equal to 10 power minus 10 centimeters, which is equal to 10 power minus 12 meters. Okay, this is the information regarding bond length. What are the units of bond length? Angstroms, nanometers, or picometers? Anything we can use. Okay, ma? Next bond parameter we will see. Before that, I hope you are clear. Distance between the two nuclei of the molecule is called as bond length. Okay, when the nuclei has attraction, means when the atoms are present little bit closer, what happened to bond length? Decreases. When the atoms are present far away, bond length increases. Okay, let us see now. Next one. Second B, that is bond angle. What is the second bond parameter? That is bond angle. Okay, it is simple one. If you take BF3 molecule, bond pair between boron and fluorine is represented by a line. Bond pair between boron and fluorine, that is bond pair. Okay, one pair of electrons which are involved in bond, that is represented by a line. Same like that, another bond, boron fluorine bond, also represented by line only. Same like that, this line. Okay, now these are all represented like lines. Those are nothing but bonds. Angle between the bonds is called bond angle. Angle between the bonds is called bond angle. In BF3, bond angle is 120 degrees. Okay, in mass you might have known two lines will be like this. Okay, angle between the lines, simply called as angle, we will say. Here these are not lines, na? These are bonds. So angle between the bonds will be called as bond angle. Okay, we have seen all these bond angles in shapes of the molecules. There once I told. Now one more time, under bond parameters it is. Okay, no? This is about bond angle, simple one only. In CH4, what is the bond angle? 109 degrees 28 minutes. In BF3, bond angle is 120. Like that, in some molecules, two bond angles are also possible. Okay, if they have equatorial bonds and axial bonds, like that, they have 90, 80, 180. Like that, every data was given in a tabular column of ESC pair theory and hybridization. Okay, ma? This is about bond angle. Next, final one, under bond parameters. That is third one, bond energy. Bond energy is represented, defined as, suppose, let us consider H2 molecule. This is a hydrogen nucleus and this is second hydrogen nucleus. They are sharing this electron pair. They are sharing this electron pair. Okay, now this is a hydrogen molecule which is present. If this hydrogen molecule, we want to make this hydrogen molecule to undergo reaction, chemical reaction, then this bond must be broken. Otherwise it will not be involved in reaction. Correct or not? Suppose we want water. Water generally in chemical reaction, actually naturally it is present in atmosphere as water vapor. In Earth's crust it is present as water, like this we know. Everything we know. Okay. But if you want to prepare in a laboratory, we want hydrogen gas and oxygen gas to be combined to form water. How hydrogen and oxygen are combined to form water? First, bond between hydrogen must be broken. Oxygen also must be broken. Then only new bonds must be formed. New bonds in water must be formed. If old bonds are broken, then only new bonds will be formed. Correct or not? Okay. To break that bond, some amount of energy will be required, that is called bond energy. To break this bond, some amount of energy is required, which is called as bond energy. It will be absorbed. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds. Actually, it is not possible to break one bond. Practically, it is not possible to break one bond. Then how many bonds we are taking? 1 mole of bonds we are going to take. That is, for example, this is the container which contains 2 grams of hydrogen. That is the vessel which contains 2 grams of hydrogen. What is the meaning of this 2 grams of hydrogen? In that 1 mole of H2 molecules are present. This is 1, 2, 3, like that. Total how many molecules are present? 1 mole of hydrogen molecules are present. Okay, now I am giving energy from outside to break these 1 mole of hydrogen H2 bonds. How much for that? How much amount of energy is required? That is called bond energy of H2. Now, once again definition. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds is called bond energy. Suppose if it is for H2, that is called bond energy of H2. If it is for HCl, that is called bond energy of HCl. Like that, for every molecule, we have certain bond energy. If you give that energy, then only the molecule is going to be broken into atoms. Attraction between the atoms will be broken down. Okay, suppose this is like, suppose one strong thread is there. Thread means like rope, it is there. Okay, we want to break that rope. For breaking that rope, we require some amount of energy. Correct or not? So if you give that energy, then only the rope will be broken. Otherwise, it is not possible to break the rope. Correct, no? Or stick. Let us consider one stick. Okay, I want to break that stick. If you want to break the stick, I want to give some amount of energy. Then only the stick will be broken. Simply, I bent like this. Little amount of energy I gave. The stick will not be broken. Why? To break that stick, it requires some minimum amount of energy. If you give that energy, then only the stick will be broken. Correct or not? Like that here also, if we want to break the bond, certain amount of energy should be given from outside. Okay, so that amount of energy required to break the bond is called bond energy. But practically, breaking of one bond is not at all possible because we cannot take one H2 molecule in the container. To take that H2 molecule, we have to see that weight 2 AMU, 2 into 1.67 into 10 power minus 24 grams. That is not possible at all. But we can take 2 grams of H2. Correct or not? In a container, we can take 2 grams of H2. So everywhere, when there is a problem to take one molecule, it is covered by 1 mole. That one you have to remember. When there is a chance, there is no chance to take one molecule, in that condition we will take 1 mole of molecules. Here also, I am going to take in this container 2 grams of H2. When we take 2 grams of H2, in that how many molecules of H2 are present? 6.023 10 power 23 molecules of H2 are present. Then all the molecules totally they require certain amount of energy. Okay, if you give that energy, then all the molecules will be broken down into atoms. That amount of energy is called bond energy of H2. Okay, now write the definition now. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds is called bond energy. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds is called bond energy. Write the definition neatly, all of you. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds is called bond energy. That's why Units of bond energy are calories, joules per mole. Units of bond energy are joules per mole or ergs per mole. See, joule is energy per mole. Every time you will write per mole only. Okay. Next, erg per mole or calories per mole. Otherwise, kilojoules per mole or kiloergs per mole or kilocalories per mole. Any unit we can use, okay, while we are saying the bond energy. But we can use another definition also. Please, that one also you have to know. Then it is useful for your NEET exam also. Okay, I am going to define that one. Simple, that is also simple only. But before that, everyone you understood the definition of bond energy, I hope. Okay, once again I am repeating now. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds. The amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds is called bond energy. Okay, now it is possible to say another definition also. That one also I will tell now. Let us see that one. Okay, see to that. Now I have two hydrogen atoms. This is H atom and this is H atom, which are not at all stable. Atoms are not at all stable now. They want to get inert gas configuration. All these things we have seen. How hydrogen molecule is formed also we have seen. Okay, now this is one H atom and this is one H atom. While these are coming and approaching with each other to form a bond, they are approaching, okay, to form a bond. Then attraction force between them is going to dominate the repulsive force. Attraction force is going to dominate the repulsion force. Then the molecule is formed. Chemical reaction will be taking place and the molecule is formed. At that time, energy will be released. At that time, energy will be released. That energy is also called bond energy. Same amount of energy if you give in a reverse way, molecule is converted to atom. When atom is converted to molecule, energy is released. When atom is converted to molecule, energy is released. In the first class we told, to lower the energy, atom will be converted to molecule. Correct or not? That is nothing but bond energy only. Same amount of energy if you give from outside, then the molecule will be converted to atoms. Only thing is, both are same only, but in one process, energy is released, in another process, energy will be absorbed. Okay, so final conclusion. What is the final conclusion? When bond is going to be formed, energy will be released. When bond is going to be formed, energy will be released. When bond is getting broken, energy will be absorbed. Both energies will be same numerically, but direction in one procedure, energy is getting released, in another position, another procedure, energy is getting absorbed. That is only the difference. Okay, now we can tell this definition of bond energy as the amount of energy released when 1 mole of bonds are formed. The amount of energy released when 1 mole of bonds are formed is called bond energy, or amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds. Amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds is also called bond energy. According to condition, we will use the definition. According to the condition, we will use the definition. Is it okay, ma? In some conditions, hydrogen molecule is going to be formed. At that time, energy will be released. In some conditions, H2 molecule is going to be broken down. At that time, energy is going to be absorbed. Okay. Now clearly, I am writing definition on both definitions now. Whatever it is, units will be kilocalories per mole or kilojoules per mole, or x per mole or kilo x, whatever it is, energy per mole. Okay, now amount of energy required to break 1 mole of bonds is called bond energy or amount of energy released when 1 mole of bonds are formed is called bond energy. Anything we can say, according to the condition we will use this one. Okay, this is about bond parameters. By this, bond parameters topic was completed, and we are going with last topic of chemical bond, that is resonance. Okay, we will see that one more. But before that, I hope you understood everyone. 3 bond parameters we have seen. Those are bond length, bond angle and bond energy. When bond length decreases, atoms are coming closer, then bond energy increases. When bond length decreases, that means attraction increases. At that time we require more amount of energy to break the bond, then bond energy increases. When bond length decreases, when bond length increases, when bond length increases, bond energy decreases. Easily we can break the bond. Okay, those 2 points you can remember now. This is about bond parameters. Next, final topic present in this chemical bond, that is resonance. What is this resonance? Okay, one small example now. Suppose we have a kid in our house. Please understand carefully. I am going to correlate this one to resonance only. Okay, see then. Let us take one room contains one kid, small fellow. Okay, he is very naughty. Now what did we say? Okay, while I was going out, I told him, be quiet, you have to be silent and sit in one position. Like that we told. Okay, to understand whether he is moving or not, suppose I want to know whether he moved or not after coming inside. Then I made his feet, okay, with some mud or any liquid which is not evaporated easily. Like that I pasted with his legs with that liquid. Okay, ma? Then I went out. Then after half an hour, when I come inside this room, what did I observe? He will not be in that position. While I was entering into the room, he will be in that position only. But I can observe his footprints throughout the class, throughout this room. Correct or not? Why? He is a very naughty fellow. When we said he has to be in one position, he will not be there. Completely he wants to move from one place to another place. Correct or not? Then where he moved, if I want to say, is it possible for me? Where are the footprints? In every location he moved. Okay, then finally his path, what he followed, I made, wherever the footprints are there, I have drawn the lines and I told that he might be there somewhere. But in that half an hour, can we say exact position of that person, that boy? Not possible, because he will be in random motion only. Okay, then his footprints only give the witness that he has moved throughout the class, this room. Correct or not? Okay, but we cannot say the exact position. But in this path, somewhere he might be there in that half an hour. Is it correct or not? Like that, this resonance also. Simple thing only. Okay, regarding this resonance, you will get much more information in organic chemistry. Organic. Next we are going to start. After this concept one, we are going to start organic chemistry only. In that organic chemistry, you will get little bit more information about this resonance. Okay, but now we will see that. See all of you. CH double bond CH, single bond CH, double bond CH, single bond CH, here double bond. This is called benzene, formula C6H6. This is the benzene structure, but double bonds here, whatever they are present, no, they will not be in fixed position like the naughty fellow. Okay, double arrow I am showing here. Okay, for benzene I am going to show another structure also, that is this one. Previously here single bond is there, but now double bond is there. Here double bond is there, now single bond is there. Correct, man? This is called benzene. Even this is also called benzene. These two are called resonance forms of benzene. These two are called resonance forms of benzene. Then how can we explain this resonance? Okay. Out of this total structure, this is sigma bond, remain sigma. When there is single bond, these are all sigma bonds only. This is also sigma bond, this is also sigma bond. If it is double bond, then only one bond is pi bond, another bond is sigma bond. So this is pi. This is also pi bond, this is also pi. While we are discussing the sigma and pi bonds, sigma bond is strong bond, it is fixed at one position. But pi bond, it is a weak attraction. It is not formed by complete overlapping. It is formed by partial overlapping. That's why pi bond is not at fixed position. It can be moved from one position to another position easily because it is not formed by complete overlapping. It is formed by partial overlapping. Because of that, this pi bond which is present here can be moved into this single bond. Then this bond will become double bond. Next, the pi bond which is present here is shifted here. Then this one is becoming double bond and here it is becoming single bond. Finally, the single bond here it is moved. Like that, this structure is changed to this structure. Again, this structure will be changed to this structure. Don't think that it is stable in this one also. Stable means it is fixed in this one also. Immediately it will be changed to this side. Next again, this structure immediately it will be like that, fluctuations will be happen. Completely fluctuations. Okay. Why, sir? How can they say that? Scientists, how did they find these fluctuations in benzene? Okay. Now see ma. Here this one double bond character. Here single bond. So it has to show whether double bond character or single bond character. Correct or not? But practically they found that it is not showing double bond character as well as single bond. It is showing the character in between double bond and single bond. This bond is showing in between the character of double bond and single bond. Like that, every bond is showing like that only. And in benzene, all the carbon-carbon bonds are same. Actually, it contains 3 double bonds and 3 single bonds. But practically, all the bonds are same. How can we say that all the bonds are same? This double bond is getting single bond character. Immediately that single bond character is getting double bond character. Same this one also. This is changed to double bond. Again this is changed to single bond. Interconversion will be happened. Very fast conversion. Within second of time, nearly 10 power 6 times the fluctuations will be happened. 10 power 6 to 10 power 20 like that. So many times. Very fastly the fluctuations are going to happen. That's why benzene is not at all stable in any one of the positions. In any one of the structures, benzene is not possible. Structure is not possible. This is 1, this is 2 man. Benzene structure, if you want to draw the benzene structure, we have to draw one common structure for that one, that is called resonance hybrid. That is called resonance hybrid. That resonance hybrid I am going to show. Before that, I hope you understood this one. After this, one more example I will tell. By that it will be more clear for you. But the thing is, every time pi bonds are only going to move from one position to another position. Because sigma bonds are formed by complete overlapping, they cannot move from one position to another position. Okay, but pi bonds are formed by partial overlapping. Because of that, they can be moved from one position to another position. I hope you understood this one. Now, common structure of this benzene I am going to show, that is hexagon ring. Every carbon has one hydrogen like this. Every carbon bond has double bond character, na? So I am going to show one circle like this. This is called resonance hybrid of benzene. Generally we will write like this structure. This is called resonance hybrid of benzene. More information about this resonance again you will get in organic chemistry next chapter. Please up to that wait, no problem, everything will be cleared. I will draw the structure of benzene also and I will explain. Here, drawing the structure of benzene it is a little bit difficult because carbon compounds were not started for you. Okay, at once carbon compounds topic was started, then I will explain this resonance structures once again there in next organic chemistry chapter, which is more interesting. Okay, so please concentrate all of you. I hope you understood this resonance structures. These two are resonance structures, 1 and 2 are resonance structures, and this is called resonance hybrid of benzene. Commonly we are going to represent these two structures in one structure only, which is called resonance hybrid of benzene. In the same way, I can draw one more example, that is carbonate ion. Carbonate ion formula is CO3 minus 2. Carbonate ion formula is CO3 minus 2. Okay, what is the structure of this carbonate ion? C double bond O, O minus, O minus. Actually, this is the structure of CO3 minus 2. On one oxygen minus 1 is there, another oxygen O minus, one double bond is there. Then see carefully, C double bond O, O minus, O minus. Then what are the resonance forms? This double bond will be moving here and negative charge will be coming here. Okay, then it will become C, O minus, double bond O, O minus. Next again, this double bond will come here and minus charge will be coming here. C, O minus, double bond O, O minus. See, double bond, again this double bond will go here and minus charge will come here. This structure is going to be repeated. These three structures are getting interconverted. Okay, these are the three resonance structures of carbonate ion, CO3 minus 2, in which double bond can be moved from here to here, here to here, again to here to here. All the three structures I have drawn. Resonance hybrid of this carbonate ion is C, single bonds are fixed only, but double bonds only, represented with the dots like this, with minus 2 charge here. With 3 lines I am showing this one. This is called resonance hybrid. These are all called resonance forms of carbonate ion. This is about resonance. So double bonds which are present in structure are not going to be fixed. They will be moving from one position to another position. Okay, like this it is moving to be. These three are called resonance forms of carbonate ion, and this is called resonance hybrid of carbonate ion. Okay, dotted lines are showing double bonds. All the bonds are getting double bond characters. That's why everywhere I have written this dotted structure as well as this -2 hole. Okay, this is about carbonate ion. I hope you are clear about this one concept. By this we completed chemical bond. Okay, molecular structure, chemical bond and molecular structure, how covalent bond is formed, how magnetic properties, everything we have seen, how ionic bond is formed, those properties, coordinate covalent bond. Okay, after that we have seen hydrogen bond, types of hydrogen bond parameters, okay, resonance. Okay, these are the topics present in this according to your reduced portion. But the thing is, this chapter is highly important even for your NEET syllabus, because you are going to write board exam in 12th class only. But without this chapter, you cannot understand 12th class definitely. 12th class second volume contains organic chemistry. If you understand this chemical bond, then only it is easy for you to know organic chemistry. Okay, and next I am going to start for you organic chemistry volume 2 11th class. Okay, two topics are there, some basic concepts of organic chemistry and next hydrocarbons. Okay, I am going to start for you basic concepts of organic chemistry next. After that hydrocarbons. Those two chapters are very important. How much if you practice, that is better for your next coming 12th class. Okay, ma'am. So, which is very important for your 12th class mainly, that organic chemistry. Okay, this is the completion of the chemical bond. Okay, I hope you understood today's concept very well. Okay, once go through total chemical bond device. After that, we will go through. Now, tomorrow, next class itself, I am going to start that organic chemistry. But meanwhile, you have to revise the entire concept chemical bond. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice day.